Greetings and welcome to this edition of
Positronic.
I'm Barry Peacock, and I'm here with some comic book related news for you. First of all, we're going to talk about DC. Finn Wittrock has been, I don't know if I'm saying that right, Wittrock has been cast as Guy Gardner in the HBO Green Lantern show that's coming. Finn, or Peter Wittrock, I guess Finn is a nickname, has been in shows like American Horror Story, and most recently he was in the TV show Ratchet on Amazon, which is a good show, by the way. So he's going to be playing Guy Gardner in the HBO Green Lantern show that's coming. Stargirl has been renewed for season 3 already, ahead of its August 10th premiere of season 2. So that's pretty cool. I liked season 1. I thought it was good. I'm looking forward to seeing John Wesley Shipp as Jay Garrick in season 2. So that's going to be awesome. Sticking with the CW verse, we're going to talk about Supergirl, which is going to go on hiatus after the May 11th episode, at which point Superman and Lois is going to come back until August, at which point Supergirl is going to come back and run until November, when the season and the series is going to end. So that's the DC news. Moving over to Marvel, they made some sort of announcements today in the form of, I guess what they're calling it is a trailer for the Eternals. I don't see it that way, but it's a trailer that shows a bunch of Marvel footage. In there was the first footage we've seen of Angelina Jolie in the Eternals, and there was some new Black Widow footage that was in there. They showed footage of their new Kung Fu-based action movie that's coming out. And at the end of the video, they flashed a bunch of title cards for the upcoming Phase 4 and later films that are coming out. And we got to see a bunch of those. So I'm going to put those title cards up for you. So we now know about the Marvel Cinematic Universe slate into 2022 with specific dates. You'll notice that Black Panther 2 has been given a name, Black Panther Wakanda Forever, which is cool. I want to show you one more title card that came up, which didn't have any accompanying text except for the Marvel logo. It looks to me like a giant 4. Now, a 4 is text, of course, but I meant text over it saying, what the project is in words. It's just a giant 4. And we've been hearing about maybe bringing the Fantastic Four into the MCU, which they haven't been up to this point with a new film. And this would seem to suggest that that's exactly what's happening, but they don't give a date. They don't say outright that it's Fantastic Four, but that's clearly the Fantastic Four logo. So that's good news. A lot of people, I guess people are skeptical about this because the last Fantastic Four people thought was bad, and they didn't think the ones before that with the different cast were that great either. But I enjoyed all 3 Fantastic Four films. I didn't think the last one was terrible, even though a lot of people did, and it apparently didn't do very well. I thought it was pretty decent. So I don't know. I'm looking forward to another Fantastic Four and bringing them into the MCU. That'll be very cool. The last news I have is not comic book news, actually. It's Star Trek news. It's about the show Picard, season 2 of Picard. Apparently, there's going to be some time travel in season 2. Now, this has been talked about before because Q is going to be on the show. John Delancey's reprising his role, and he's been known to whip people back and forth through time. So we've kind of known that, but now there are some set pictures that have come out which show Raffi and Seven of Nine on a bus in what looks like the 21st century. And it's not apparently further in the future than that because you don't see any shuttlecrafts. There's no flying cars. It's just a regular city bus. It looks like in downtown LA or New York or something. And it seems like this would be in the early 2020s or between 2020 and 2050, because in 2050, there are some events that happen in Star Trek history that I think it's World War III that happened at that point, that would make it mean that a scene like this wouldn't be typical, because would be chaos going on, or there would be other technologies in the picture. So that kind of pinpoints it at some point between now and 30 years from now. So they're back in time from the 24th century to a time not far from our own. So that's going to be interesting. Let me throw up the set pics for you. And the second one shows the outside of the bus. It shows an advertisement on the bus for a manned, or I don't know if it's a manned mission, but a mission to Europa. So that's interesting. It's clearly set at a time where we don't really necessarily have starships or warp technology, because something like that wouldn't be a big deal at that point in time, which it would be commonplace. So at the stage, at the point in time where this season is taking place, things are still kind of close to how they are now, where when we do something with Mars, for example, it's a big deal because, you know, it takes months to get there or weeks to get there or whatever it is, and you can't go with a human. It has to be machines, and it's, you know, it's a rare, sort of expensive, sort of not routine thing. So that's the vibe that this Europa trip advertisement sort of sends out. So it seems like they're in the future from our standpoint, but not so far in the future that they've got warp travel and all that stuff. So we know about when at least part of season 2 is going to take place. So that's pretty cool. But that's all the news I have for now. This is a short video. I'll be back with more news when I have it. Until then, I'm going to get out of here. And I say once again, peace and long life.